The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Road to Attitude. It took us a while to get this one, but hey, it's a long road. So, as always, I'm AJ, and along with my host, Jay.
I was gonna say something, but I already forgot it. Going into it.
But yes, along
start.
with my host, Jay, we are going through every single week of the Attitude Era, starting from the beginning to the end. Each month we are doing one company. This month we started off with WCW.
This month,
and
3 months ago.
Shut up. This month we started with WCW, and we ended on this month's pay-per-view, which is Great American Bash. And next month we are going to do WWF. Which pay-per-view that one ends on, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be trash. Finally, we're at the end of the first month of Road to Attitude, and again, as I said, we stop at the Great American Bash. Long ass show.
Yeah.
Very long. So, just get right down to it with the opening promo. You know, introducing us to the pay-per-view. You got pretty much running down the card. You got Macho Man stealing the show with Mongo and Green. That's how I remember him. His name is Green.
Yeah, we got Heenan again calling out Savage, and then immediately chickening out.
Which is great. I love Heenan. We have Lex Luger trying.
I remember a specific quote of, "Don't bother looking up the definition of giant in the dictionary," and then he just doesn't really go anywhere from there after saying that.
Feel it, I think is what he said. And then the Giant gives himself an autoerotic asphyxiation on screen. And apparently tonight we're in Baltimore with Shivani introducing us, along with Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes is part of the announced team, which is fucking amazing.
The fabulous and wonderful Dusty Rhodes, who is in incredibly casual wear, whereas Shivani's in a nice fancy suit and tie. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Dusty Rhodes is a very simple man. This is what we know. This is
fact.
After he introduces us, we get the national anthem along with some Sting and Macho Man cosplayers, which is always awesome. And apparently somebody died.
Yeah, Dick Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes' old tag team partner, I believe. He died like literally the day before this show.
It kind of like threw me off guard. I was like, everyone's like, yeah, Great American Bash, and we have to say he died. And I'm like, oh, well,
yeah,
it's nice.
It's pretty casual how how quickly they bring it up and then just disregard it. But it's how it is.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, you know, we're gonna address it, but we're not gonna just hold onto it too much, I guess.
Yeah.
So, match number 1 with a very special stipulation of there must be a winner, and I wrote down here, so a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Oh no, the best thing is that Dusty pretty much immediately fucking buries the stipulation, saying, well, there has to be a winner in most of these matches.
Even he knows it's bullshit.
Thanks, Dusty. So, match number 1 is a tag team match featuring the team of Fire and Ice against the Steiners. Another Whopper quote from Dusty. Shivani says, they are the two brothers. And Dusty just goes off and saying, they were born like that.
I would hope so.
I fucking love it. Dusty has some of the best quotes in this goddamn pay-per-view.
He is a riot. He is a treasure. I am very glad he was a part of this show.
I think he might be a part of a couple more, hopefully. I really hope we get to see more of Dusty, because goddamn, his commentating is amazing. So, basically, this match, I wrote down one word, which is lots of, the one word I wrote down was muscles. There's a lot of muscles. Match is just full of meat. Mountains of men in this match is what I'm saying. Just, that's all there is in this match. Of course. Sorry, what?
I said, just goddamn it, that's making me laugh.
It's true. It's like, it's just mountains of men in this goddamn match. And I wrote down here, it's kind of crazy. You don't really see this kind of thing anymore, where it's just roidy men just fucking bashing into each other. Like that's not something you really see as much anymore. Like sure, you still got big guys in wrestling, Steiners and Fire and Ice. These guys were just the roidies of the man.
Yeah.
Also started a counter for Dusty this pay-per-view. Situation a lot. And I counted how many times he said it during the pay-per-view, and I will announce how many times he said it at the end. Let's just say right now, it's kind of staggering how many times he's already said this word. But anyways, it's a match. It's whatever, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of play-by-play here, but otherwise there's nothing really specific. Like like I said, I watched this like a month ago before we recorded this, so I mean, yeah, it was just kind of a match. Nothing really is popping out to me that I can remember. I made a note here at one point. Dusty threatened to attack Shivani over something or other, which I wouldn't surprised.
He
surprised
said,
that.
have you ever hit your elbow? And Shivani's like, no, I haven't. And he's like, oh, come here, let me do it for you. No, that's actually preceded by another quote that Dusty gave us, which is, have you ever hit your head on a brick wall?
Can't say I have, no.
So a few things in this match that did catch me off guard. One, there was a nice looking little drop kick by Flash Norton to Scott Steiner, which was all right. And then Scott Steiner almost breaks his fucking neck. Like he almost breaks Flash Norton's fucking neck with was it Rick or Sky? I believe it was Rick who gave Flash Norton a belly to back suplex. He literally almost broke his fucking neck. God damn it. That was actually kind of scary. Actually, a few spots in this match are kind of scary. Like there was one point where Rick was trying to break up a rest hold, but on Scott. Rick came in and started kicking Flash in the face, and like not even worked kicks. Like the fucker was kicking him in the face, like right in the fucking face. It was really fucking crazy, man. Like these guys were just each other. Other than that, we got another situation and botches.
Lots of botches. But that's par for the course, so.
Scott Steiner tries to do his Frankensteiner. It looks like fucking Flash power bombed him instead, which is just really fucking bad. That's it. So Rick and Scott win the match after lots of botches, and we immediately go to Mean Gene because fuck this match.
Yeah, we get a
Gene
Taskmaster and Jimmy Hart, I believe.
Here written down, he sounds like Jimmy Hart, I should say. He sounds like a mixture of Shaggy and Scrappy Doo. When you listen to him, he kind of does. I'm like, what the fuck is up with your voice, man?
He's from the South. That's what's up with his voice.
God damn it!
Look,
but
am I
yeah,
wrong am I wrong or am I right?
Like two things come out of Texas, so I guess yeah. So so Kevin Sullivan, aka Taskmaster, just hamming it up in here. Really nothing too crazy.
Yeah,
immediately.
It's a pretty standard one, but I remember I made some notes here. Taskmaster is just pretty kind of neutral. It looks like he hasn't even finished putting on his like makeup or anything, so it's just he's got like a couple little stripes of black here and there, and it looks really weird. Meanwhile, Jimmy Hart's just having like a fucking seizure in the background, just like spasming and writhing.
Oh, it's great! It's so great.
He starts fucking around with Mean Gene, putting his hands on him, and he's just like, "Get your hands off me!" or something or other. I didn't even hear what he said.
Just when I miss when backstage interviewers used to actually like have a personality and snap back at wrestlers, because like holy shit, Mean Gene just like fucking nails it in this show.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard one. Nothing really too special about it other than that.
So, match number 2 for the WCW United States Championship. We have very schlubby looking man. When I first saw him, I thought he was just like a stagehand. They just put a fucking wrestler mask and said, go out and wrestle.
Yeah.
He's a very schlubby looking man. Also, his theme music is just jungle noises.
Yeah, it's not even music. It's just stock
It's
effects
just
that they
jungle
found.
noises. No, the worst thing is that he's like his mask is supposed to be a Bengal tiger. I don't think Bengal tigers live in the fucking Amazon.
I don't believe so. No, that doesn't sound right. But I'm not an expert, so don't quote me on that.
Following him is the United States champion Conan with a fishnet for a mask. I don't know what's up with this guy's mask, but every time I see him, it looks just more and more ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous,
he spent all his money on a good entrance theme, so he couldn't afford a good mask. Well,
right?
Good in comparison, but it was the '90s. That's just what it was.
Grungy. It's the '90s. Speaking of ridiculous, I took notice of the ref that was in most of these matches. His mullet and his mustache. Holy shit! This guy's mullet and mustache just screams like I don't know what decade it is. So this match was just again. It was kind of a chi-ish match because Conan, as fast as he tries to be, he's too big to do lucha libre style moves. The match really does suffer for it because they try and do these fast, high spots and reversals and arm drags, and they just kind of go really slow.
Yeah,
so it was really helping it much.
Probably wasn't the best matchup, but they tried. It was a fairly entertaining match, but I get what you're trying to say with that. Yeah, it's pretty noticeable now that I think back about it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just there are a lot of times when I'm watching this match and I'm just thinking to myself, go faster, but you just look like you physically can't, and it really suffers for that.
We get the obligatory out of the ring bits. Nothing too special.
Written down here. I have it written down here that El Gato tries to do a what's that called? It's there's a specific name for it, but it's kind of a roll up where they get both of your arms and then roll you up. He tries to do that. He botches it, and he tries to cover up immediately with what the fuck is an armbar? Ridiculous. Like he's basically just like wrapped around both of the arms of Conan, but he's so small that you can't really like see like he's trying to like torque the arms or anything. So it just looks like he's hugging him. Yeah. And I'm like, what is this crap? It looks so bad. So takes a few nasty bumps in this match. First one, he does a baseball slide, falls right out of the ring, right on his ass. Then immediately takes a fuck you powerbomb by Conan right outside the ring, like fucking hell. Conan gives him a nasty Alabama slam. Gato, takes almost entirely at the back of his fucking head.
There was another one I wrote down. Where was it? There's a bit early in the match where he keeps trying to headbutt Conan, but Conan just keeps jumping straight over him, which was pretty cool.
It's kind of weird because like I wanna give Conan the benefit of the doubt, but I really think this matchup just wasn't good for him. He just isn't a luchador. He just isn't.
Yeah, I mean, then again,
he's too big.
This was apparently a heavyweight match, which I don't know why they're trying to do lucha stuff in a heavyweight match, but I'm not the one who's running the show here.
Right, but yeah. After that, Conan gives him the nasty Alabama slam. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Elgato. We'll see you later.
Probably.
We get Mean Gene Okerlund interview number 2 with Sting. It's a pretty cool little promo with Sting. Funniest line is I'm going to because the whole promo is basically calling William Regal gay.
Yeah,
that's the whole promo.
It's basically just a very, very long diss package against Regal.
Essentially. And he's just calling William Regal gay. And my favorite line of the whole thing is Sting saying, I'm going to straighten you out. You're going to straighten him out. Half naked. Very intimate, like, rest holds.
In neon coloring.
Thank you, Sting.
Really, really activates those almonds, doesn't it? I do have a specific line that I noted down because it was just kind of stupid. Was there's a bit where Sting is just like, something, 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 and you can take that and, well, we're on TV. I can't say that. It's like, no, you're not on TV. This is a pay-per-view. You can say that. Yes, you can. Shut up. Just say it, Sting, you coward.
They're really... I think back then that like the ratings for pay-per-views were kind of like up and down, because I know that in ECW all their pay-per-views they were just cursing up and down like a fucking storm in there.
I mean, yeah,
so I'm pretty sure if Sting wanted to, he could have said something.
Yeah, but then again, knowing Sting at this point, he probably wasn't going to say anything too. He was probably going to say something relatively tame, knowing how he kind of was.
Shove it up your booty.
Yeah. So. Either way, it's funny. It's just like, we're on television. Like, I mean, kinda, not really.
It just reminds me of that one like meme chart of like people who have never said fuck. You can just put like Surfer Sting on there.
Yeah.
He looks like the type of guy who would never say that. So, match number 3. Apparently Nirvana comes to the ring with DDP because he comes out to Smells Like Teen Spirit.
It was 1996. It makes sense. You know,
the actual Smells Like Teen Spirit, this is just WCW ripping off music like a fucking boss, which we will see more of as we go into the Attitude Era. But it's just hilarious seeing it now, because I'm like, holy shit, that is Smells Like Teen Spirit. Come on, guys. Who are you joking here? After his the matches between DDP and Marcus Bagwell with his amazing American Male song.
American Males.
Pure.
American Males.
Beautiful. Grammy Award winner of 96.
Absolutely. We get a bizarre rambling promo from Paige at the beginning of the match. I've got a couple of notes here on things that he did. Something about Baltimore bimbos. I don't even... Was this in Baltimore, or was he just saying Baltimore?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so it makes sense there.
They were in Baltimore, Maryland, this one.
He starts shit-talking Cal Ripken, who I think was a baseball player. I'm not a baseball guy, so correct me on that, please. Just for
corrected him on that. Like, he corrected the name. I think it's Carl? Oh, no,
yeah,
I think DDP said Carl, and then
he kept
Shivani...
saying Carl Ripken, and then Shivani's just like, I think it's Cal Ripken, and Paige is like, shut the hell up. Let me speak.
Oh, that's great.
I know what I'm doing.
This is baseball, right? You make the touchdowns.
You score the goals. I don't know. I don't know nothing about real sports.
Wrestling's a sport. All right, but yes, as soon as that happened, we get the match. A few nice little spots here and there. Apparently Dusty comes in saying that this match is for the ring. That must be a bitch traveling with a ring everywhere, but okay. They basically say they're fighting for the ring that they're wrestling in. I'm like, do you take that where you travel?
I mean, kinda.
Like, apparently, I guess DDP just hauls that thing everywhere.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Another situation.
There's a good bit where I don't remember who gets hit into it, but somebody gets hit into the guardrail, and then they go over the guardrail into the crowd for a little bit, which is always fun. It's always fun when it goes.
Yeah, I believe that was DDT, and I actually wrote it down here. When he gets thrown over the guardrail, he does this thing where like he gets thrown over and he puts himself through a chair to look like he just went into an accident or something. I thought that was a pretty nice touch.
There's another bit where when they go back into the ring, DDP just starts straight up choking Bagwell, just barehanded to the throat, choking him. You know,
there are a lot of times in this pay-per-view that I'm just thinking to myself, ref, would you like to DQ this man? Disqualifying, disqualification right there. But what do I know? Let's see what I got here. I have this written down here about DDP's abdominal stretch that he does in Bagwell. I understand the whole leverage thing with the ropes when you're doing like a headlock or a pin. Holding the ropes do for an abdominal stretch. Like, what does that do, really? He's holding the ropes. Well, I don't get that. Maybe somebody can, explain to me how that works, because I got no fucking clue.
It's science. I don't know.
Science. The ref kicks DDP's arm instead of counting him out. Okay, ref, what the fuck are you doing? Then we get a nice tombstone from DDP. A tombstone slam, I guess, because it's not really a pile driver. He slams the fucker. You get a DDP Charlie Brown bump where he tries to kick Marcus and he misses the kick completely, which is kind of cool. I like that little spot.
It's always fun. It's always fun when there's presumably intentional botches. I like when that happens because it makes it seem more real. Not
yeah,
really,
I get what you mean.
but,
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Plus, it works well into DDP's character.
We have a spot with Marcus doing an atomic drop to DDP. Fucking what was that? Because he tries to do the atomic drop, he drops. DDP then drops, stands up, and then DDP jumps up. That whole ending sequence was a fucking cluster. All ending with, Diamond Cutter, and then Marcus Bagwell is dead, never to be seen again, because Diamond Cutter, whatever. And he pins him 1, 2, 3. That's it. We're done with this match. Though I will say, it is kind of funny hearing DDP talking to the camera, saying Diamond Cutter City, way before Suplex City was ever cool. So,
and then another self high five, which is always fun.
Self high five is one of my favorite gimmicks. I love that shit because it is such a perfect heel thing to do. It's like, oh well, I'm the only one who's good enough to high five myself. It's great. We get another backstage interview with Mean Gene and Big Show. I'm sorry, Giant.
And Jimmy Hart again.
Keep trying to resist the urge to call him Big Show because that's what I know him as.
Yeah.
But here he's known as the Giant.
Yeah, same here. It was another kind of average one. I don't remember who said it, but there's a bit. It's like I wouldn't trust Jimmy Hart as far as I could throw him.
That was Mean Gene, yeah.
Yeah, Mean Gene, and presumably that's not very far. I don't know. I don't know what Mean Gene's power level is exactly. So.
See, he can pin Hogan, so he's very powerful.
That's fair.
He is he's Ultra Instinct. So Jimmy's having a seizure in the background as usual, and
Mean Gene
we see
Blanco.
and that's I kind of want to see that now. Someone's gonna make that.
Fuck. Jimmy Hart's just doing his thing. Giant
having a seizure as usual.
Giant's pretty much whispering the entire time up until right in the end when he just starts suddenly shouting into the mic.
He's doing the Samoa Joe promo where he's kind of quiet and then he shouts.
Yeah, that's fair.
I will say I did write a note and I told you this earlier that Giant's got a bit of the old Timmy Turner tooth.
Yeah.
That I've never noticed until now. He's probably gotten it fixed now, but it stuck out like a fucking country mile when I saw it on him. I'm like, the fuck? It really caught me off guard when I first saw that. So, next match number 4 for the Cruiserweight Championship. We have the debut of Rey Mysterio, who is looking very tiny. He's very small.
He's always been very, very small.
No, yeah. Yeah, but did you ever see him in WWE, mid 2006? That guy was fucking giant. For a little guy, he had a lot of muscle, which is kind of scary. But whatever. So, yes, he comes in. Apparently, this is his debut in WCW for the championship, which is cool. We have a third commentator joining us, Mike Tenay, who some of you might know from TNA, Iron Mike Tenay. I've always liked him. He's a very good commentator. He's not much of a commentator, but he knows his shit, and it's really interesting to hear him talk. So yes, Rey Mysterio. That fucking theme song of his is hilarious because it sounds like he's a horror movie villain. But
and that awful,
whatever.
awful, ugly neon purple mask he had.
Fix it during the match, Jesus Christ. And he's fighting Dean Malenko. All I have for this match, besides a few play-by-play things, is this match is really damn good.
Yeah, it was a really fun one, if I remember correctly.
fast, really crisp, really tight. It was really fun. We have Dean Malenko showing off all of his holds because he is the man of 1,000 holds, which is always my favorite little thing of his. And Mysterio basically going back and forth. Lots of fun little not high flying, but like quick luchador moves. There's a middle point where it kind of slows down. Malenko's got him in a head hold, and everything kind of slows down. And all I noticed while this all was slowing down, this guy in the crowd. You're gonna have to look for it. There's this guy in the crowd with a crown and a mustache, for no reason, other than he can. He's on the hard camera. You can see him plain as day. He stands up and flips off the camera.
Why the hell not?
It's hilarious because like all you see is just this random guy with this like pedo stash stand up and flip off the camera. I'm like, yes.
That is an icon. That man is an icon.
Sign him now. Match picks up again when Rey Mysterio does a really, really fucking awesome somersault to the outside. I keep noticing that the commentators keep calling Hurricane Ranas Frankensteiners. I know that Scott Steiner does that move, but you can call them Hurricane Ranas. It's kind of like how people how you can use Warrior's Way and the coup de grace for Finn Balor. Like, come on, guys, it's all right to call it by the actual move.
Well, they get paid every time somebody says Frankensteiner, so
they get paid $5. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much really fun match. I really recommend it. It was great. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of parts in this match where, again, yes, it was slowed down a bit, but you'll thank yourself for watching it later once it really starts picking up. Because when it picks up, it fucking picks up.
Yeah, it definitely did have a slow start, but it had a great finish to it.
So Malenko wins, of course. Rey Mysterio's debut. He's not going to win the thing on his first night.
He's never going to win. He never wins.
Oh. He wins our hearts.
Here lies Rey Mysterio. He never scored.
Oh, God damn it. Let's see. So we have another post-match interview with Meme Gene, Jimmy Hart, again having a fucking seizure, and Big Bubba.
Was it with Bubba? My notes say it was with Lex Luger.
That's right. Okay. It's because I just kind of assumed because I forgot to write the name. So yes, okay. A pretty okay backstage interview with Lex Luger. It's Lex. He tries.
It's nothing special. It's average Lex Luger material. There's a great bit where he's like, my mind is 1,000,000 miles away, so nothing unusual. Pretty much standard for Lex Luger.
So weird because I really want to love Lex Luger. He seems like a guy who you just want to get behind, but god damn it, he tries. A for effort, I guess.
He's trying. He's trying.
He's not with Bart Simpson with that cake. At least you tried. Match number 4 is Big Bubba versus John Tenta. Big Bubba comes out first with the fucking hair.
He still has it. He still has it. I don't know why he still has it.
Can you imagine walking through airport security with a bag of hair? Like, you're like, sir, why do you have this hair? Oh, it's so I can intimidate the fat man. But sir, to intimidate someone with hair, I got scissors too.
Oh, no, then he would be arrested.
I'm gonna cut it on the ramp.
No, actually, wait, no. This is pre 9/11, so he'd be fine with bringing scissors onto a plane.
It's like I'm gonna cut the hair on the ramp to scare him off. Kayfabe. It's amazing. All right, so he comes in, goes to the match, and we see John Tenta come out with no fucking music, fucking jobber, with his stupid. Again, he still has the half-shaven head, which is hilarious. Like
he's
I get
it. I'll give him that. He's rocking it. It's stupid as hell, but he's rocking it, man.
I get why he's doing it. I mean, I understand, it's to make sure he never forgets the humiliation.
Broken John Tenta.
But Yes, Broken John Tenta. Let's book it. Book it now. See, it's weird to me because like when we saw him get his hair cut, like most of like the mullet, not from the side, and I'm like, how does that work? I don't know. Wrestling.
He probably tried to edge it out and then just went too far, and he's like, "Oh fuck it, we'll just do half of it."
This match was kind of a nothing match. It was kind of the crowd was kind of dead for this match. Like no one really cared. No one was really cheering. No one was really going, "Yay, Shark!" Like no one is whatever. Essentially, this match was just kind of to hold you over for the next match. Really,
I mean,
it's fine.
It had some good bits, but yeah, it was just kind of a there match.
Favorite part was Jimmy Hart getting the scissors and like snipping them in front of the camera, laughing maniacally, which is just fucking stupid. It looked hilarious while he was doing it. But no, it was a match. It wasn't too crazy. You know, John Tenta gets the 1, 2, 3, and the Shark rises again. That's really it. We'll see where this goes on Nitro when we come back to it.
He at least did get a little bit of revenge. He cut in a bit, but he escapes before he can do anything actually serious. So
it's kind of dangerous though, because like he moved his head inwards, and he could have like poked his eye out with those scissors. Goddamn! Don't play with scissors, kids.
Absolutely.
So, we get another Meme Gene interview with Mongo, McMichaels, Green, and the Macho Man. That's all I remember.
The return of our one true Lord and Savior, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Beautiful. Like it's crazy to see. Like you got Mongo and Green. They're like crazy and going, yeah, we're gonna beat them up, yeah. And then Macho Man comes in and just everybody disappears. He just takes up the whole screen. It's just Macho Man. It's great. I love Macho Man. He's like the greatest thing ever. So, pretty okay promo.
Macho Man just, rambling, usual for him, for everybody. One point, for some reason, Green calls Macho Man Daddy. I don't want to know about what's going on with that. That's not my business.
Daddy Macho.
And then they just kind of leave, and Mean Gene's kind of upset a little bit that they left. And, that's how it is. It's a Macho Man promo at its core. So, match number 5, a Falls Count Anywhere match with Kevin Sullivan versus Chris Benoit. Starting off, Chris Benoit, what the fuck is up with that pose? Like, did you see that pose? He was just like picking his arms up, kind of doing like the referee thing when you make a field goal. I think what he was trying to do was raise up the 4, like the 4 horsemen, but he had his like fingers closed, so it just looked like he was doing the field goal pose. He wasn't.
It just
really
looked
into
weird. Yeah, I will say, as soon as Kevin Sullivan came in, they went right into it, which is perfect.
Yeah, the music or anything didn't even start. The lights were still off, and they were already kicking the shit out of each other. I love this match. Probably my favorite of the whole show.
I love this match because one of the things that I've always hated in wrestling, when it's like this big blood feud, like these guys hate each other, they're gonna rip each other apart, and then they start doing wrestling. They hate each other, and they just go right into beating the fuck out of each other. It's great.
Absolutely.
So pure brawl. They go into the crowd. They go into the restroom. Fucking hell, crit. I was gonna say like
they go out of the ring into the aisle, up the stairs, and out of the fucking ring into the bathroom.
So yeah, like you said, they went into the bathroom, and Jesus Christ, did you see the shots Kevin Sullivan was giving Chris Benoit with that fucking stall door?
Oh my god, yeah.
Those weren't protected. Like he didn't have his hand up or anything. Those were like straight to the fucking head. Like god damn.
He weaponized that bathroom. Like I don't think there was a single thing in there that he didn't beat the shit out of Benoit with.
Right? He even hit him with fucking toilet paper.
Yeah.
So Chris Benoit gets hit. He lies on the floor. Nasty fucker. Just a bunch of fucking nasty hits to the head from Chris Benoit. And back on it, maybe you shouldn't have taken those hits, buddy. But yes.
Yeah, that's hindsight for you.
2020. One of the best parts of this entire match, Dusty goes insane after he sees a woman come out of the men's restroom. He just fucking loses it.
He
He's like,
just
there's
does
a
not
woman,
stop.
there's a woman in a man's bathroom.
Oh my god, it's the end of the world. Pigs are flying. There's a woman in the bathroom, the men's bathroom.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. Okay, so this was right at the point where Sullivan hits Benoit with the toilet paper. That's not a sentence I think I was going to say today. But yes, he hits Benoit with the toilet paper. I'm going to ask you, on your stream, was there a point where you started seeing the camera guys, it cuts and it goes back a few seconds? Because that's what it did to me when they were both on the floor.
I don't think so. Not with mine, at least.
It was weird because like there was a weird cut and we went back a few seconds to see Sullivan and Benoit on the floor, and then you don't see like the camera guys again. It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, mine was some like, I'm not sure about you. Mine was like some weird old VHS rip, so I'm not even sure. Because I like there was the VHS like artifacting and noise, and you got a bunch of old ads in it and stuff. So I'm not sure.
Ooh. Mine was actually just. Oh, I was gonna say I think mine was just recorded straight from the TV.
That might be why.
I had the live version. You had like the VHS version, I guess. So yeah, we get a couple more seconds of brawling in the crowd. Random guy jumps in front of the camera and goes, "Woo!" which is just great.
Take the opportunity to always gotta.
So go back into the side of the ring. Chris Benoit gets a table, just smacks Sullivan across the fucking face with it, which is great. We have a part where Chris Benoit sets the table up. He's about to throw Sullivan into it. Sullivan reverses, throws Chris into the table. It does not break. Go to the table. It does not break.
I am the table!
But it does end with a really goddamn just a cool spot where the table's flat on top of the turnbuckle. Sullivan and Benoit get on top of the table, and Benoit just suplexes him off from the table to down to the ring, and it just looks awesome. It looked incredible.
Absolutely.
So 1, 2, 3. Chris Benoit wins the match, and right afterwards, the Horsemen come in and start beating the fuck out of Kevin Sullivan.
And then the Dungeon of Doom arrives to kick the shit out of them too.
They run before the Dungeon of Doom do anything. So that was honestly overall that match was fucking incredible. It was a really good hard-hitting brawl.
Honestly, I think it was probably the best match of the night, to be entirely honest.
I was going to say, after this, it kind of does go a bit downhill.
Yeah, but I mean, this was like the, second to last match, I think? Or third to last? I don't remember.
This was, let me see, 1, 2, 4. Just 4 more matches. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So, Horsemen stand tall. We go back with Mean Gene. Backstage with Elizabeth and Woman. Both looking incredibly gorgeous, as usual. And all Horsemen together make one big promo. Great promo. Arn Anderson, great talker. Like, this guy, it's weird because he doesn't, do a promo like a wrestler. He does a promo like a football coach would, but like that type of football coach who isn't afraid to punch you in the chest. Yeah. I just love Arn Anderson. He's such a good promo. He's amazing. So afterwards, we have match number 6. Steven Regal versus Sting. This match, no one gave a shit. Like, I said this with the Big Bubba John Tenta match, but with this one even more so. A death spot. Like, you heard the crowd. Like, barely anybody was cheering. Really, the only time people cheered was when Sting was getting any offense in. But
yeah.
Really,
yeah, it was kind of just there. Nothing too special about it.
I have written Steve Regal goes out. He jaw jacks with the audience a bit, pretty much just wasting some time. I did write down. I wrote down another quote from Dusty, where apparently out of a sudden he just notices that Shivani is sitting next to him. He's like, "How come you're sitting so close to me in this booth?" I'm like, "Okay, thanks, Dusty. You're amazing." Let's see. Pretty cool spot. So what Sting does, he tries to do a sunset flip on Regal. Regal's trying to counter by doing that weird little like he kind of looks like he's doing like a little dance. You know, have you ever seen him like they're trying to like stay up and stay balanced? But what he does in this is that he like does like boxing, like he's boxing the air, and he's doing it at the ref's direction, and the ref starts like replying by doing his own like air boxing to him. It looks ridiculous. It's amazing. I love that little scene. Like they're just like pretend boxing each other while staying balanced. It's amazing. I also have written down that Steve Regal has one of the best shit-eating grins I have ever seen on anybody ever. It's amazing. I love it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I also do have here that Shivani and pretty much most of everybody in WCW were pretty much just shitting all over Brian Pillman because, as we explained last time, Brian Pillman basically played the players and he was able to get out of his contract scot-free, which is amazing. Go back to I think episode 2 where I explained that because it's an amazing story. After that, everybody just, again, this entire match, the crowd is just dead. They lost the crowd way too fast in this match. Sting then begins to hulk up, and he gets Regal to tap to the Scorpion Deathlock pretty quick. 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah. That's
as to be expected, to be entirely honest, but it was okay.
And it was just kind of a nothing match, you know. I get it was like a grudge match, but was it really? It kind of boring. Which whatever. Get out of here. And apparently WCW knew this match was boring as fuck because we got a super fast transition into match 7, which is Ric Flair and Arn Anderson versus Mongo and Green and Steve Green come out with Macho Man, which everybody in the building goes crazy for because he's Macho Man, obviously.
Yeah, you if you don't, you're not human.
Loves Macho Man. Everybody.
Everybody.
There's actually a pretty decent atmosphere in this match. Like, it's a pretty fight. It feels like a match people were waiting for, which is kind of weird because I don't really think anybody really cared for this match at first. But I might be wrong. You know, I wasn't there during the 90s. I was born, but I wasn't there. Yeah, so big match feel for these two teams. I'm going to just cut in here and say, as I'm doing the situation count, says situation 4 fucking times in the span of 2 minutes. Can this man not come up with any synonyms?
No.
Anyways, a lot of time wasting, a lot of posing, a lot of Flair going, woo! A lot of them just doing poses, just, you know, hot dogging and grandstanding, just really getting the crowd into it. Ric Flair tries to leave. Macho Man attacks him. Q? No? Fuck me. Whatever. So,
what are you gonna do with Macho Man? You gonna say no to him?
You're gonna DQ Macho Man? He'll DQ your life.
We've already learned that DQing him is not going to do anything, as has been established in the last 3 episodes we watched.
Apparently Macho Man is just impervious to rules. It's in his contract. He cannot have rules. As I'm watching this match, I kind of think to myself, you know, Steve Green and Mongo McMichaels, they're not that bad. Like they're obviously a bit sloppy and they're obviously not wrestlers, but for the minimal amount that they're putting into it, that bad. They're okay. They're fine. There's a huge pop for Mongo and Steve Green to do stereo figure 4 leg locks. Like everyone's just going, oh my god, everyone's just going fucking crazy. It's crazy. Ric Flair is just bumping around like a madman for these two guys, really putting them over strong, making them look like $1 million. And again, they do hold their own. They look pretty all right. They look fine. Because again, I think this might be if I remember correctly, see when we come back to it, I think this is their one and only match, I think. Because if it is, they're not too bad. So everything's going crazy.
It might be. I vaguely remember reading that they stay on for a little bit longer, but I don't know.
No either, so we'll just have to see what happens. This match is just turns into a big schmoz. Everyone's fighting everybody. Everything's going crazy. Towards the end of the match, we have Deborah McMichaels coming in with a briefcase, to Mongo McMichael. She's saying, "Hey, look, I got this briefcase," and she has Woman and Miss Elizabeth next to her. We open the briefcase and we see there's a Four Horsemen shirt and an undisclosed amount of money down
like
here.
probably $500 or something. I don't know. It didn't look like a whole lot of money.
Singles, just a bunch of singles.
He's not worth that much.
I guess, but I'm just thinking to myself, like Mongo McMichael, and even in mid 1996, football players make a fuck ton of money. If that briefcase has, let's say, $50,000, he makes like 3 times that every game. You have to gain like taking this money. Like, come on, Mongo, what the fuck?
Hey, it's not the money, it's the T-shirt. The T-shirt is
Oh.
what's important.
You know what? You're right. I'm pretty sure you can get about $15 from that on eBay.
Listen, I know this, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. The shirt is more important. Even though it's not.
Oh, it smells like Ric Flair.
Yeah, I mean, that's reason enough right there. So yeah,
Apparently.
So yeah, she shows up, has been tempted to the dark side, essentially, tries to get Green, I think it was Green, yeah, to turn and join the Horsemen, and of course, he accepts.
No, that was Mongo.
Oh,
The one who
Never mind.
who heel turns.
I was
Green
right.
was the one being held. Green was the one being held in the figure 4 for like 55 years.
I misread my notes there. Yep, you are correct. It was Michaels. Turns on Savage. Savage gets the briefcase to the skull, which probably hurt. Flair gets the pin. Horsemen win. They have a new member. All around, solid finish.
It was a
Good
fun match.
Very fun match.
For people who at home who are like wanting just to see the Horsemen get beaten, I mean, I guess it makes sense if they're gonna try and push this storyline a little further. Doesn't go anywhere after this. This was fucking useless.
But either way, the finish was neat. I liked the idea of bribing him to turn and get him the T-shirt and join the Horsemen and all that. That was a fun idea.
As we established, it's obviously the T-shirt that made him turn.
It's obviously the T-shirt.
It was a pretty nice
kill
T-shirt.
a man for that T-shirt. Michaels probably has killed a man. That's just
He looks like he has.
statistically speaking.
Crazy eyes, man. So, pretty fun match, and pretty much like not even a few seconds, like immediately afterwards, we have Eric Bischoff on the stage coming out to address the interruptions from the 2 people who are coming in to interrupt and cause a war and all this stuff. Calls out Razor and Kevin Nash. There's no secret here. We know who they are. It's Razor and Kevin Nash. Come on, guys. It's Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, or Scott Hall. I'm sorry. So he calls them out, and I have it written down here. Like halfway through Scott Hall talking, I saw him. And I thought, no, it's just his chest hair. It is so incredibly thick, and it was shadowed that it looked like he was wearing a black shirt. I'm like, what the fuck? Man, that's something you don't see in wrestling anymore, man. You don't see that type of chest hair. God damn.
Nope.
But yeah, so Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are basically saying, all right, well, if you accept our challenge, Eric Bischoff says, yeah, we accept it, blah, blah, blah.
We also get
But we just want to know who your third man.
We also, before that point, we get a very, very obvious and very clumsy bit where Bischoff is like, do you gentlemen work for the WWF? And they're both like, no, not at all. Yep, definitely. Because if you don't know, the WWF sued them because they were implying that they were literally actually Razor and Diesel still showing up, still working for them. Very, very long story involving that lawsuit, and it ended up being one of the many things that ended up killing WCW. But that's neither here nor there.
We'll get to their death when they die. But yes, sooner than you think. But yes, so they're basically saying, all right, well, we're going to bring our third mystery guy. And Eric's like, who's your third guy? And he's like, oh, we'll reveal him then. And then they ask Eric Bischoff, who's your third guy? And he's like, well, I'll tell you guys later. I'll tell you guys that tomorrow night, blah, blah. And, you know,
Neither
out of nowhere.
We hadn't even decided on either of them yet, but we were banking on somebody revealing it so we could plan ahead.
It's kind of crazy because, like, I didn't expect for the next spot to come out where Razor kicks Eric in the gut and Kevin Nash gives him a fucking power bomb through a table.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Pretty out of nowhere. It was pretty fucking good. Pretty brutal, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's always fun seeing Bischoff get his shit wrecked, but you know.
Or Bischoff, man. Like, okay. I mean, I know they probably, you know, they more than likely they rehearsed the spot millions of times, but still, it looked fucking brutal.
Yeah, Bischoff sold it really well. Like, I honestly, for a second, I thought he was injured, legitimately.
Like, he actually didn't take it right, and he hit his head or something. Like, oh shit, oof.
That would certainly explain some things.
We're carrying Eric. We love you. Anyways, so I also have it written here before, you know, the awful, you know, powerbomb and shit like that. We have Scott Hall once again calling Macho Man the Nacho Man. I swear to God, he's gonna try and get that thing over somehow.
Keep trying until somebody puts it on a T-shirt.
Actually, I was gonna say, funny enough, again, this is before the bump. We have Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan, and you hear very, very audible boos for him. Like, people are just like, no, fuck Hulk Hogan. No one likes Hulk Hogan now. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I didn't notice it myself, but that is a little shocking considering the time period. But at the same time, I guess
to be honest, I think this was pretty much during the time where people were trying to get sick of Hulk Hogan because, like, okay, you're still trying to be on top, you're just fucking everything over, blah blah blah, and people were getting sick of it, which is cool because it kind of does lead into why, you know, he would turn heel afterwards, which is cool. After that, the two, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they run off, blah blah blah, and we get main event. I will say they do kind of make a good job making it seem real, at least in their reality, seem real, with everyone kind of like going off to check on Eric Bischoff. Hell, even Lex Luger, when he comes out, he goes to check on him to see if he's okay and then walks to the ring. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I really like it. Yes, final match of the night, main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Lex Luger versus Giant. They all get into the ring, and apparently the Giant is 455 and 4.5 of a pound.
How many is 4 halves? 4 halves is just 2. 4 halves is 2 full. That doesn't make any sense.
That's how they build it. He's weighing in at 455 4.5 in a pound. I'm like, what? Giant is not 455 pounds. He's like probably 300, but not 455. That's insulting. This match, again, after that spot, kind of a dead crowd, but people were kind of into it either way. Yelling like a madman the entire match. It's great.
Whole time.
I can't lie. It kind of gets me into the match when I hear him go, oh, ah, ah! Like the whole match. The whole match. That's how it's going. It's amazing.
Entire time, yes. Otherwise, the match was pretty, standard for Giant, and I'm not going to lie. Luger does hold his own pretty well early on, but, as expected, Giant turns it around near the end and does what he does best.
It was a serviceable match. Honestly, I think they kind of knew that nobody was really going to pay attention to this match after, the whole segment with Nash and Hall. Like, after that, I think they kind of knew, okay, that's going to be their big angle. And hell, you can even tell the match started and there was like a little over 10 minutes left in the pay-per-view. So they knew that they weren't going to have like the biggest crowd. So they were going to just do what they needed to and get in. The finish was very anticlimactic, though.
So Giant tries to throw himself on Luger, but he gets stuck in the turnbuckles. Luger tries to, I forget what Luger tries to do while he's stuck in the turnbuckle.
He tries to do the torture rack, his move.
Yeah. He tries to do that, fails. Giant gets out and does what he does best, and he wins.
For a spot like that, it was actually a pretty cool, interesting spot because Luger can't really just pick him up just like that, so he's gonna try and have some leverage on him. So it's kind of cool. He used brains over bronze. It was interesting.
That's a surprise. Lex Luger using brains.
Well, 4% body fat. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but that's his catchphrase. There you go. So, in the match, he's still WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Nobody cares, and as soon as he wins, there's no post-match interview. There's no big spot. There's no big angle. It's just Shivani saying,
"Thanks for watching. Bye. Fuck off, people."
Okay, cool. Bye.
Yeah.
By the way, I think they killed a man.
They might have. Killed him.
I mean, so overall, this was a pay-per-view.
It certainly was.
The two matches you watched this for are, well, I guess you could say three if you really want, the hot dogging stunt, is Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Kevin Sullivan, and I guess you could say Horseman versus Mongo and Green, but that's only if you really want to watch, a crowd get really into a match. Really, the first two matches I mentioned are really what you watch it for. Or
other than that, there's the bit with Hall and Nash. Other than for quote unquote historical quote unquote historical reasons, but yeah, other than those two matches, there's nothing really else to talk about regarding this one. I will say, watch the Flair, Anderson, Mongo, whatever, blah 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 blah. The 8 fucking different people match. I didn't even remember half the people. That one was a really good one, but it was, if you weren't interested or even have any idea what the hell was going on with that whole angle, you're gonna be kind of lost and probably won't be interested.
Build. Watch the 4 weeks of TV. No, the 3 weeks of TV before this pay-per-view. But yeah, I mean, overall it was all right. Like I said, Kevin Sullivan versus Benoit was just just a hardcore brawl, and Mysterio versus Malenko. If you don't like hardcore wrestling, Mysterio is where you're gonna go to, because it's a very nice, crisp, technical lucha libre match. It's really fun. It's really good. Overall, I mean, that's pretty much it. And again, as we said, with Hall and Nash, that's like we said before, that's a historical moment, something that you will never legitimately ever see again. It just won't. When you think about it, because of how many times you've seen wrestling promotions retry and make that again. It's just you can try, but it's never going to be again.
At least 3 times.
And WWE do it with the WWNWO. We had them do it with NXT, with the Nexus. Kinda with the not with the Shield. They had them do it with I guess the Undisputed Era now, but that's technically not really the same thing. Kinda, if you want to count the Bullet Club. Nah.
Maybe.
And they also did that in TNA. I think that's the whole thing with Aces and Eights. Whatever. Okay. But yeah, they
less we talk about that one, the better.
Attitude Era. We're doing TNA. But so yes. Overall, okay. It was an okay pay-per-view. Go watch it. I say thumbs up.
Yeah. Thumb up.
So that's it. We're done with WCW for this month. And now we start WWF. Holy shit, this is going to be exciting. I have actually seen any WWF stuff before the 8. I've gone back to see stuff in 1998, but I've never actually watched any full shows during that time and before that time. So it's going to be really interesting to see that, go from there to there. It's going to be really cool.
Definitely.
Because this is during the time where WWE was kind of like on the low run, it was kind of in the slump. Oof. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty fun time. Can't wait to get to WWF.
Absolutely.
As always, I have been AJ. That's been Jay.
Goodbye, everyone.
And this was just one stop on our road to the Attitude Era. So, time for the what is it? Raw? I think Raw was still on. Yeah, Raw was definitely on. So we'll see you next time for WWF, and let's just hope it was as entertaining as this fucking month. So, see you guys.